Looking back at my review for Cruis'n World, I feel I was a bit harsh on the game. To be honest, the Cruis'n series has brought me a lot of joy throughout the years, mostly in the 90s, but nevertheless, I enjoyed these games. And I want to take a look back at the game that started it all. In 1994, Midway released Cruis'n USA to the arcades, and I can still remember this giant of an arcade machine, complete with pedals, a steering wheel, and a racing seat. Incredible. 2 years later, it was ported to the Nintendo 64 as a launch title, and though it didn't fare as well as the arcade version, I still had a great time with this game. The game features a smaller selection of cars, all of which are clearly replications of real-life models without the actual names used due to licensing issues. There are also a few hidden vehicles like the police car and school bus. Doesn't really matter though what car you select, as all the vehicles pretty much handle the same. Even the school bus steers just like the Testarossa, definitely an arcade racer. Now, as the title implies, you're racing all across the United States of America. This game will take you through such famous locations as Beverly Hills, San Francisco, Chicago, the Grand Canyon, and more. Also included are a few not-so-famous places like, Iowa. The level designs look pretty nice. They can be somewhat repetitive at times, but also have some things to them that make them stand out. Like I mentioned before, the handling is very arcade. The cars tend to slide all over the road. The sense of speed is good, but sometimes you'll approach turns a little too quickly, and even with the arcade handling, you'll still find yourself hitting a wall. The traffic is kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. Even though there isn't much of it, when you do collide with another car, you'll find yourself flying around like a Hot Wheel, and sometimes it can get so irritating I find myself just turning the game off. The music in the game pretty much sucks. I mean, you might like it if you like music that sucks, but most of the songs are just cheesy or plain annoying. The menu music is probably the only thing that doesn't bother me too much. Some of the sound effects are decent, like the engine noises and tire screeches, but the random chick yelling at the top of her lungs, that's enough for me to turn down the volume. This game looked a lot better in the arcade, and I remember hearing that it was going to be a perfect port when it hit the 64. But those of you that have played the original and this one know that it's not. For a launch title though, I think it looks good, and back when I was a kid, I was just excited that I was playing Cruis'n USA in my living room for the first time. There's not much to a game like Cruis'n USA. It's a very simplified arcade racer. No customizing vehicles, no long tedious races, not very many options or gameplay modes at all. It's really just a way to kill maybe an hour at the most. When I was 10 and this game was new, it was pretty remarkable and kept my attention for a lot longer. I have a lot of great memories playing this game, both in the arcade and at home on the N64. These days, I can't keep myself playing it for very long, but once in a while I'll pop it in for some cheap thrills. I'm a racing game junkie, and this game packs a certain nostalgia for me, so this is a must-have for my collection. If you like simple arcade racers, give Cruis'n USA a go.